I've been traveling for work for the last decade, and I've lived abroad for more than half that time. In this video, I'm going to be going over some of my gear recommendations and ways you can try to tune your body to make traveling just a bit easier. Let's get into it. When I first started traveling for work, I bought myself a pair of Bose Quiet Comfort 15 over-the-ear headphones. These served me pretty well. They had some problems. The main problems were they required AA batteries, and I travel frequently to Australia, and that's a 30-hour trip from like the middle of US. So you're ripping through those batteries to where like I would actually rip through a pack of 4 like on one trip. And the headphones did really work. They had good staying power. I did have to replace the surrounds or the foam earpieces. I think I was on my 3rd set when I retired them, and they were still kicking on. They still worked great. My big problem, especially once I started traveling for business, was when you do get an upgrade to business class and you want to sleep. I'm a side sleeper, and headphones and sleeping on your side doesn't really work that well, or at least it didn't for me. So what I ended up doing recently, I had a recommendation to get these Shure SE846 earphones, which are quite pricey. But what they have going for them is that you can put them in your ear and be able to sleep on your side. They don't have any active noise canceling because you can see they have a little foam. It literally looks like an earplug, and the audio fidelity from these is astounding. The other thing that I would say, because all the new phones don't have any headphone jacks, that's another problem with the Bose headphones I had, because they were wired only. They were back from 2010-ish. So these Shure SE846s are great. I ended up, getting the little dongle. I'm currently running a Google Pixel 6 as my main phone. But what I would say when it comes to dongles is do a bit of looking. This isn't a sponsored video, so I'm not going to recommend any particular brands, but have a look around. You will be able to find a headphone adapter that also can do USB-C power. So the USB-C power on the headphone adapter makes it so when you're on that long flight, wherever you're going, you can still charge your phone and listen to music. I find it really helpful. Other gear recommendations are get a nice eye mask. So a nice eye mask that you just have in your bag that you take on the plane with you, as well as, if you're into it, a neck pillow. Depends on what class you're in. I have a very long torso, so the neck pillow is an absolute must. I'm the guy whose entire head is above the headrest on the plane. My entire head is. So like I'm destined to have neck problems down the track. So I definitely bring. It looks like a neck brace, but it's a travel must for me. So those are my gear tips. So the second part is how to tune your body for travel. Now this is what I do. You have to figure it out for yourself, but what I found is that I listen to a specific sleep playlist every single day. And I put that on usually when I'm taking a shower at the end of the day, and it puts me to sleep. And this is it's very Pavlovian. It's a kind of a behavioral modification thing I've done to myself, where if I turn this playlist on, I can go to sleep quite quickly. And this really works well on an airplane. I'm not gonna lie, that Pavlovian training just kind of kicks in where it's like, oh, if I hear any of the songs in this playlist come up, I zonk out. So even if I'm in economy on a really long flight, I can totally zonk out, chuck the eye mask on, just kind of bundle up, and I can still fall asleep sitting up. So that's a very important thing that I would say. And the other thing, especially if you're doing trips across the oceans, my opinion about it is the night before you leave, you should deprive yourself of sleep so you're very tired. So when you get on that long flight, you can have the meal, and then you can actually get nearly a full night's sleep. Because I found when I initially started traveling, I wish someone would have told me this, where it's just like, if you get a full night's sleep before one of those, 18-hour flights, you're going to have a bad time. You're not going to be able to sleep, like, especially if you haven't done it before, you're not going to be able to sleep easily on those really long flights. So, like, you really need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, and just really have less sleep the night before. Once I started to do that, I've really had not a bad time going back and forth over both oceans from America for, coming up on a dozen years, and I've got the system down. Drop a comment below. What's your system? I'd love to hear what other people do, because this is just what I've iterated on for the last, 10 years or so. I'd love to hear what you do, because I love learning new things. I'm always curious, especially if you're a more seasoned traveler than me. Besides that, if you enjoyed this content and you're interested in learning more about becoming a more social engineer, check out my link in the description below and join my network. I hope to see you there.